Hello everybody, it's your old pal Chuck and I'm back with another review. And today we're going to take a look at from the Transformers Earthrise line. These are the just released Autobot Astro Squad, comprising of Blaster Master right here and Fuser, as well as the Decepticon Racetrack Patrol, consisting of Roller Force, the blue car, and Groundhog, the purple dragster. As in previous releases, the Micromasters can transform from vehicle to robot and then combine into a weapon. The Autobot Astro Squad has that added benefit of they are based on the old not double, but combining Micromasters, where each one has a quote-unquote individual vehicle mode, and then they can combine to form a NASA-licensed space shuttle. So to start the review, we're going to take a look at the Racetrack Patrol, and we're going to do that right now. Okay, so we're starting off in vehicle mode with Roller Force and Groundhog. These are basically retools of the previously released car Transformers. There's basically two molds. I should say two sets of two, and they just get reused. So unfortunately, there is a little bit of degradation and issues. Things don't peg together as nicely as you would want. That can also be because the legs and the arms are all connected on ball joints, that if something is a millimeter or less off, it won't peg together well. So starting off and taking a look at Roller Force, nice little car. We're going to transform it into robot mode. First thing you want to do is just come in here, get the arms out of the way. The head will probably, the front of the cat car will just, hood will just flip back, so you can just go ahead and do that now. And then come in the back. And even though the legs are supposed to be pegged together, they really don't hold. So just go ahead and rotate them out. There is a little waist articulation there. I find that the legs don't go out as far as you might like. There's a good little look at the head, torso. So this is actually one of my preferred car modes because they don't have the long shoulders and the arms can actually move. You can pose them and, do what have you with them. So there's that. So there's Roller Force. And then bringing in Groundhog, very nice, interesting looking car. Kind of reminds me of the coloring of an old Wendy's GoBot toy. Just throwing it out there. But basically transformation is fairly similar. Go ahead, bring the hood back, come into the side, separate the arms. They do peg into the side. And that's something I want to mention on both of them. The pegging of the arms really help make transformation a bit more stable. Go ahead, start bringing the legs back, and then what you're going to do is you're going to fold up that back section into the tail fin, and then straighten the legs out, and there you have Groundhog in its robot mode. Again, coming in for a little closer look at the head. Nice paint job. It can stand, rather stable. Let me just make sure I have everything straight there. So, but that's not all you can do with these. These are combining robots. They combine into a weapon. So we're going to start with Groundhog. What you want to do is peg the legs together as well as you can. Bring the arms down, peg them in. That will actually help secure things. There's the barrel. This is, make sure that's back and flip down this peg. So basically you have the first part of the gun done. For the second half, what you want to do is bring the legs of Roller Force together and then bring up. First, I think you should bring up the arms just like so. They'll slot into place, and then you're going to bring the legs up so basically it looks like he's crouching like this, and then flip out that black combining peg, and then bring the front down, and then of course we will sandwich things together. The peg is a little loose on roller force, so it might take a couple tries to get it to peg in without collapsing, but once you do it, you have it very nice, and you get a very stable gun mode. I don't mind it. I think it's actually pretty cool. It's going to sit further back as like a shoulder launcher type of thing, but it's stable. It doesn't, you know, it's a little bit better of a combination than we've seen. I mean, yeah, I think it would have been better if this was able to come forward more and tab and slot into there, but for what it is, I'm happy. This is actually a Micromaster car set I feel comfortable recommending. So let's pause and take a look at the Autobot Astro Squad. Okay, so there's actually a lot going on with these guys, more than what the instructions would have you believe. These are cool little figures. Fuser, as you can see, has some weapons molded in. But, you know, we'll start with him. And if Blastmaster falls over, that is unfortunately something that happens. So first step, what you want to do is come in and just bring the legs together. They peg here in the back, just like so. Bring the arms down to the side, and they are on these hinges that you can actually bring them down quite a ways, and it gives you enough clearance to come in, fold back on the backpack a little to bring out what will be the front of the shuttle, and bring these arms up, and it will peg into, not peg, but like a slot into place. Then what you want to do is rotate the hips around and fold the vehicle up so that the tail fins come together. Make sure you keep everything snapped in place, and this is all a little blurry there. Snapped into place. Oh, there we go. And fold it up, and then bring that back panel down. That will peg in, and seems like something's a little off. Unfortunately, I did notice that there was a little bit of warping on the wings, so that might be part of the problem, but for the most part, there you have Fuser in its robot, and its, smaller shuttle vehicle mode. Now, what I want to point out are these two little posts on the back, which can take blast effects. Flip down this front grip, forms a little pistol. Not bad, I know, right? So we're going to fold that back up, because just to get that out of the way, and we're going to come in and take a look at Blastmaster. Did a little close-up of the head there. I don't think I did a close-up of Fuser's head, but there you go. Start the transformation. Bring the arms down to the side. Peg the legs together. You can go ahead and now peg the arms in to the side of the hip. Kind of a tight fit, but you know what? That's kind of good, because it will give you that security you need. Let me just make sure I get that. Get in there, you. Huh. First time I'm having problems with this, huh? How about that? Oh, the legs came undone. Well, you know what? We can worry about that a little bit later. I think once everything's folded up. Speaking of which, bring down that front panel, flip the head around, and make sure before you do that, you bring up this tail fin so you have enough clearance to do it. Back up, head fold, back up, just like that. And you might need a little bit of a thumbnail to get it out. So now what you want to do is go ahead bring the legs together, fold them around. Ah, yes, that's why the arms weren't pegging, and I didn't do this part yet. It's better. It's smarter than me. But you're going to raise up the hips a little. You're going to tab in so you get that position. Now go ahead and bring the arms in. That'll work. And then bring the wings down. They will peg into 2 sections along the side here, just like that. And one thing I want to point out is you do have a secondary cockpit there. So, yeah, you actually have 2 separate vehicles. They really didn't paint that secondary cockpit, unfortunately, but it's there. And to point out, if you want to have a weapon mode, bring that tab down. There are ports here on the back to plug the boosters in, blast effects for the boosters, just like so. But we're going to fold that back up because now it's time for combined vehicle mode. There are tabs here on the back of a fuser that will slot in and click into place. And once everything is together, unfortunately, Blastmaster does have a little warping on this wing. The wing is actually like a softer rubber, almost like a rubbery plastic. So it isn't going to line up properly, but when everything is said and done, you do have a combined shuttle mode. And wait, why is this? Get the focus. Sorry, the focus is going a little crazy there. There we go. And so it does have that little bit of an issue where it's a little warped. But on the bottom here, if you do notice, you do have some molded in wheels, which is nice. Now, the combined weapon mode. Not shown in the instructions, so I'm going off of my own gut feelings. Personally, I think what you're supposed to do is fold the wings up, then fold that tab that's underneath the cockpit of a fuser, and there you go. This is the weapon mode. Got it a little loosened up there. Put the blast effects in, and there you go. If you want, you can fold down that tab and have a double barrel, like a double-handed mode. I haven't been able to work that out. Maybe you're supposed to hold it from this front one, and it's supposed to be like a rocket shoulder launcher of sorts. But yeah. So let's pause right here. I'll bring in some larger robots, show you holding them the weapons, and I'll give you my final thoughts. Okay, so as you see, I'm using Optimus Prime and Starscream. Your mileage will vary in terms of getting robots to hold these weapons. Prime's arms are a little bit tighter and stronger, so they can fit. Sometimes there is mold differences, like millimeters in terms of getting pegs into fit into holes. That's all QC and stuff like that. As you can see, Starscream is holding the Racetrack Patrol, as I mentioned, as it's more of like a shoulder launcher, whereas Prime can hold the Astro Squad as a pistol. Unfortunately, he can't do a double-handed type of thing. His arms just don't cover around that much. And, you know, there is like a natural curve to the Astro Squad that I noticed, but again, I think a lot of that might be mine. Is a little, some of the wing parts are a little bit warped, but I'm quite happy with this set. This is actually the first wave of Micromasters that I can fully recommend both sets. The Racetrack Patrol is by far the best car-based Micromasters we've gotten in the Generations line thus far. They transform well, you can move the arms, and their weapon mode holds together and looks pretty good. The Astro Squad is really cool, and I think it would complement Skylinks very well. I'm sure you can use it, you know, with Skylinks' base. They show it pegging into Ironworks as if it's launching off. You can have a lot of fun there. Unfortunately, I don't understand why the instructions don't point out the weapon modes and the combined weapon mode, but it's there. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people will figure it out on their own or come up with various better solutions. But yeah, definitely when you see these at retail, which they're starting to roll out right now, Target, Walmart, all that, definitely pick them up. I got them off of eBay, so I had to pay a little bit of a premium, but I think it was worth it. Hopefully, they'll show up on Amazon and online retailers sooner than later. But however you get them, I think you'll be happy with the purchase. So, this is your old pal Chuck for the Autobot Astro Squad and the Decepticon Racetrack Patrol. Like, comment, subscribe, and if you can, support me on Patreon. Card here in the corner and link in the description. We will see you next time.